Okay, guys, welcome. So, we're going to talk about Kenya. We're going to talk about JKIA. So, if we zoom right to Kenya and we go to Nairobi and we try and find where JKIA is, this is Nairobi. It's a very big metropolitan city, and over here is the main airport for Kenya. So, we have one runway, and this is where all flights come in to Kenya. So, right now, the airport looks like this in the overhead section. This part is the parking. This is the international arrivals, and all of these are departures. So if we look at it in a 3D way, this is how it is. It comes in from here, and these are the international arrivals. And it's a tent basically. It's not that good. It's really not good. And all of this is just parking. And sometimes you don't get parking, so you get rained on to like push your things into the airport, and then it's round as it is like this. So it's not really good for anything that you want to plan and do. So if you look at this airport, uh, this is another satellite terminal. I used to use this when COVID time was there. So we really have an airport that's restricted, cannot be expanded upon. So the main options we had were to build an airport here. Adani decided to build an airport around this area, and then Kenyans disputed that. I understand for sure. So if we come to flight radar and try and look into the flights that are coming into JKIA, it's not that many. We just have a few flights. This one's going direct to New York. We have a few flights in Europe, a few flights going to India, and we also have a few that always fly to Hong Kong. And it's not that many flights. So majority of the flights that are in JKIA are people who are just coming in, and it's not transit flights. And that's the big problem with JKA, because if you look at other airports, for example, if we put that out and we look into Ethiopia and we look into Bole International Airport, and then we continue and filter out Ethiopia, you can see the amount of flights that are flying in from Ethiopia are so many. And there's a reason why. Ethiopia is a king when it comes to aviation in East Africa. And then if we compare with other airports, such as, let's give an example of Johannesburg or Tambo, and then we look at it. There's just a few flights that are flying over, you know. No, sorry, I put JFK. I was supposed to put Tambo, Johannesburg. Continue. So multiple flights are coming into Johannesburg, and there are few coming in from the US, from Dallas and Delta, and there are also A380 planes that are flying into Johannesburg. And with the big hubs in Africa are Johannesburg, there's Egypt, there's also one in Cape Town. There's another very massive airport in Cape Town, and Ethiopia. So we need a way to distinguish ourselves as a country. And for me, I had the idea of building an airport in Mombasa, our main international airport in Mombasa. Because if you look at Nairobi, yes, its elevation is quite high, but Mombasa is low, and that can offset cost. And all of the flights, by the way, which come from Nairobi, if you look at Nairobi and you try and look at the flights that are coming in from JKIA, most of the flights that are coming in are going towards Mombasa. So the busiest route is Nairobi to Mombasa. So most tourists are coming into Kenya, and they're flying to Mombasa, and they're coming to visit Savo, Malindi, Lamu, Mombasa, and coastal areas. So I really see some of the countries, the top airports in other countries are in coastal areas, and they're not in the capital city. And that's the reason why I'm pushing for Kenya to have its main airport in Mombasa. Because if you look at countries in the West, for example, like the United States, some of the biggest airports are in Los Angeles, And mind you, that the main capital of the U.S. is Washington D.C. We have Atlanta, big airport. We have Atlanta here, big airport. We have Los Angeles. We have Miami. All of those are not, airports that are from the capital city. We also have in Australia, we have Melbourne and Sydney. Those are not the main capital cities. And you get my point. And then if we come to looking at the wind patterns, if you're able to see, Mombasa is well suited for wind patterns, and it's quite low, which is going to make it efficient. Nairobi is quite high, but the winds are slow, and that's not good. So that's the reason why I'm pushing for Kenya to have an airport in Mombasa, is that if we have direct flights from Mombasa, we're gonna have like a leisure and a very good airport. So where would we build this airport? Like where would we build it? So I had a viewpoint. If we go to Google Maps and try and see, I have an idea of where we're gonna put it, and then I'm gonna show you guys where we're gonna put it. So if we come here, this area of majority of Kenyans stay in this part of Mombasa. So if we build an airport around this area or this area, we can be able to accommodate like a lot of people. Imagine flying directly from the US, landing in Mombasa as the main big hub for Kenya, and then flying, like taking a small Kenya Airways flight down to Nairobi, or knowing that you're gonna travel out of the country and you're just flying to Mombasa so that you can fly out, and it's gonna be cheaper for everyone. So that's my whole viewpoint of it. I know it's quite hard to understand, but like Mombasa is really good for having our main airport as compared to having it in Nairobi, because of the low altitude, which makes it easier for taking off with like less fuel and more people, and also it's a high tourist destination. So that's my viewpoint on why we should build an airport in Mombasa as compared to building it in Nairobi. And I feel like most people need to see and witness that. And that's my whole point of it. So yeah.